Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh. We now have a full-length episode for you today. That will be coming tomorrow on the Spencer Walsh Radio Network for you. Tomorrow at 10 p.m. we should have that up. But on today's show, we have a very, very interesting video clip from a political convention that shows just why, just possibly maybe why, the Democrats may be screwed as a party, and the left is the only thing that's keeping them afloat. So, yeah, we're going to get it all up into that for you today. This is really an incredible clip. I forgot that really these people exist in real life. Thank you so much to your Secular Talk YouTube channel. They recorded the audio for this on Politicon. So there's going to be a panel right here between Kyle Klinsky of Secular Talk, James Carville, who's a political insider who worked for Bill Clinton. He's very much an establishment guy there. And in the middle, we have somebody named... You know what? I should really look up who these people are. Yeah, the panel's called What Now Democrats 2019 panel. Yeah, it's moderated by Joe Pesha, and the channelists are Jess McIntosh and Zerlina Maxwell, so I could pretty much best describe them as Hillary Clinton lost, like big Hillary Clinton supporters, also very much establishment figures, but much more of the ilk of, okay, we need to talk about sexism here in the Democratic Party. It's a real problem, like that, like those type of people, like those Hillary lost because America's so sexist type people. Yeah, so Jess McIntosh, Joe Lockhart, and I don't even know anything about that guy. Kyle Klinsky, obviously, of Secular Talk. Mike Pesch is the moderator, and of course, Zerlina Maxwell. I think they all appear, except for Kyle, pretty regularly on MSNBC, except for Joe Lockhart. I do not know who that guy is. Never heard of him before. He's the only guy on this panel I have not heard of. Jess McIntosh, that I've seen a lot on Twitter. Oh, former White House press secretary for Bill Clinton. So, yeah, we get the idea of where he is on that one as well. So this also pretty much, if you know anything about politics, you know that Kyle's the only one who's going to be anywhere close to the left wing on this one. So, all right, so we're going to start it with about 10 minutes in, because this is really where it gets juicy, and it's really kind of a worrying statement of the Democratic Party politics, because I know most people probably don't think like this. They probably don't care about all of these discussions. But the fact is, the people running the party, the people who are probably going to have a very, very big hand in deciding who's going to be the next Democratic Party nominee, all these people, they're going to have a massive, massive say in this. Like, these are the same people that when Bernie comes 21st, or Bernie gets 21%, and Warren gets 18%, they'll put in their own poll over at CNN. This has actually happened at CNN. You can go look it up. Bernie got 21%. Warren got 18%. And they put Warren with 21 and Bernie with 18 in their own poll. That's what happened. So, like, these are the same people who are going to be trying to decide the Democratic nomination. And these people on this stage, they hold some sway. I mean, Zerlina Maxwell, I don't know if she does or doesn't anymore. Like, she used to work at the DNC. Like, so she's going to have... And Jess McIntosh, I'm sure she does something along those lines. She probably has influence in Democratic Party politics. But, yeah, just listen to some of the insane stuff with this very, very juicy question, especially for people like McIntosh and Maxwell here.
Or maybe you did, the self-analysis. What did the presidential campaign, what did the Clinton campaign do wrong that is legitimate?
Oh, here we go.
I'd point to
this would be a big one.
Mary's book that she wrote, Dear Madam President, where she admits that the campaign was caught really flat-footed on exactly how big an issue gender was going to be. Running the first woman president seemed like it was Hillary Clinton. She was the most qualified candidate ever. She was like the pillar of the establishment. Like, it couldn't be safer than Hillary Clinton. But the fact is, we'd never elected a woman president, which means there's absolutely nothing safe about electing a woman president. I think we didn't realize exactly how that was going to play out in the absolutely unconscionable media handling of the email story.
Like, if you got loser bingo right now, you should probably have almost a free space. Pretty much everything but the free space crossed off, because, like, that is some incredible stuff right there. Like, I mean, the thing we did wrong is we really failed to grasp the immense immense amount of sexism that exists in America today. Like, that is the most amazing answer that I have ever heard. So pretty much he did nothing wrong. That's what you're saying. It was all the voters' fault, and we did not take into account how awfully sexist they are. Like, that is quite something. Like, just take that in. Take that in. Like, and of course with the unconscionable handling of the emails. Like, the voters maybe get this crazy idea that Hillary Clinton is corrupt. Like, where could they have gotten that from? Like, the media can't just, like, behind every conspiracy theory, quote unquote, and this is, don't get me wrong, this is no conspiracy theory. Like, there is some truth to it. And I think this is the really the reality here. So, yeah, she's going to go on.
As 20 times more than any other policy question that came up in all of 2016.
And again, the way they talked about the emails, that wasn't good. Like, that wasn't good. Don't get me wrong about that. But, they should not have spent, like, that's not, if you're in the Hillary Clinton campaign, the idea that is what you take away. And you're still allowed to work in Democratic Party politics. Like, that should make everybody who wants to see Trump defeated incredibly nervous. Like, your first response is, what did Hillary Clinton do wrong? What did you do some soul searching? Did you do some self-analysis on the subject? And then your response is, the sexism of American voters was something that we just could not expect. We got really flat-footed by how horrible American voters are. Like, oh my gosh. That took my breath away when I first heard this.
We didn't realize how much that was going to take a toll, and I think that's not happening now. I am really happy to, I'm not saying that misogyny is gone or that it's going to be super easy to elect a woman, although I think it's super possible. The last one got the 3 million. But right now, like, I get to have conversations with reporters almost every week where it's, tell me about the gender implications for electability. When we talk about electable, do you think that's coming from a place that is not fair to women candidates, that doesn't understand women's leadership?
Like, that's honestly another thing that I really don't get is why in the world, like, it's kind of a weird thing what you were saying there. It's like, oh, like, everyone's so sexist, but then we're talking about electability. Like, we're talking about, oh, women are, like, we're not taking into account women's leadership, but then the media are suddenly asking questions about that, but that's just crazy. Like, and it's not like, again, women are the only ones to be asked about electability, and the fact that, again, now we have 2 women prominently, or, well, only one that they like to talk about, but again, 3 women, only 2 that they like to talk about. I forgot about Elizabeth Warren there, and of course the one they don't like to talk about, as we shall soon see, is Tulsi Gabbard. But it is kind of incredible that, like, that is do you not see what I see there, like, the weirdness of that argument? It's like, it is shocking to me that people like this, like, you forget. Like, sometimes you could get in a bubble and forget that people in the NYC, Washington, D.C. bubble, like, they still think this. Like, I thought we all just grew up and accepted the reality that the Hillary Clinton campaign did do a lot of serious things wrong. But no.
Doing this self-reflective moment in the media and as operatives where we're asking those questions, and if you'll notice, the women candidates aren't getting called likable anymore. Like, that stopped. We're almost done with electable. Next we'll move on to authentic, and eventually we'll just see women as people, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
But it is getting better.
But, I mean, she also just didn't campaign in the Rust Belt, and she...
Like, this is setting off air sirens in their head. Like, she's talking about the Rust Belt. He's talking about the Rust Belt. White male talking about the Rust Belt. We must stop.
She wasn't, like, hammering home. Like, one of the main reasons why Trump won...
And just to be clear up front, he's a liar. He's as big of a liar as you could possibly get. But the dude went to the Rust Belt, and he kept doing these rallies where he was talking about, like, you know, I'm going to bring the jobs back. It's going to be so tremendous. We're going to have so many jobs. It's going to be unbelievable. And, you know, that's a message that sells in the Rust Belt.
And I mean, giving credit to Kyle Kalinske, like, making that point true, was that, yes, he is a liar on this subject. He's not correct. and saying that he wants to bring back all the jobs to the Rust Belt. Like, he doesn't, like, that's not what he was trying to do there at all. And he didn't end up doing that. And I think you were kind of probably pretty foolish if you did believe that he was going to do that. Like, but that's the reality situation. That's what worked for him. And you can point to a whole bunch of different things, but it's really hard to understate the fact that she didn't put anything forward. Most of her campaign ads were about how bad Donald Trump was, not how good she was, not her vision for America, which she really didn't have. And I think, like, this is a whole kind of my opinion on this kind of thing, a little bit of a diversion, but, like, when you think of some of the most successful candidates, the candidates who, like, really been around long and who have had political success, like, there is, I feel like either they're really, really cool, like Obama, like, people just like them as humans, they're good politicians, like, Obama's a very good politician, a lot of people liked him as a human, and that's, I think, a big part of why he was so successful. I mean, there's a lot of things to frown at in the Obama administration, but he's probably got like a 55 to 60% approval rating, and that's because people, like, they liked him. And the other thing is, you can think of, like, the person's political identity comes to mind. You at least know what they stand for. Like, what is the first word that you think, like, in terms of what they stand for? Like, what do you think of when you think of Trump? Like, you think of, at least during the campaign, you think, oh, he's Trump. He's the guy who wants to build a wall and keep out the immigrants. Like, who's telling it like it is. Like, that's an identity that, believe it or not, a lot of people in America really do get behind and really do support and really do like. Like, that is a big part of it. And another big thing is, like, Bernie Sanders. What do you think of for him? Oh, he's the guy who wants to make healthcare free and more affordable, more accessible. Like, that is what they're known for. Like, what is Hillary Clinton known for? Like, what is her slogan? I mean, I think it's really comes down to slogans. Like, make America great again. Bring back a time of the past. Like, that's very, very appealing to people. Also, very appealing to people, especially young people. Like, a future to believe in. That was Bernie's slogan, I think. It was like a revolution to believe in. We're starting a revolution. Like, that idea is incredibly, incredibly important to people. And then there's I'm with her. And I'm not discounting the incredibly historical nature of a woman running for president, but I think it's not enough. It's, as Bernie Sanders says, and if I were in the room with these two people, McIntosh and Zelina Maxwell, they would be screaming at me right now because they're like, "What do you mean it's not enough to run a woman to run for president just as a woman?" Like, no, you have to be running. And I think this the mistake really that Hillary Clinton made. She didn't forge a separate. Like, she didn't, over the course of her career, she failed, I think, to form a political identity for herself. And I think that's true for a lot of people in Washington. They all had that same problem. But Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, in his very short time in politics, like, his time in politics was not marked by changing positions, moving to the right wing, moving to Wall Street, sucking up with corporations. Like, that wasn't part of his brand. That was part of Hillary Clinton's brand. She was seen as the elitist person who isn't very convinced about her policies. Like, that is very, very, very disturbing stuff. Like, that's a big problem. And I do want to get to what her response is to this, and it's going to be, we got to rewind a little bit, but I do want to get to her response is in this in just a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what's happening on the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. New episodes of Newsflash will always be fresh at 10 p.m. on Sundays with Thursday bonus episodes. Go check out episode 345 with James Stanley talking about the death of the leader of ISIS. Pretty crazy stuff. Also, find out about the revolution no one's talking about on the brand new Season 2 premiere of Red Alert. It's back, folks. Also, Uncultured live Fridays, just at now officially starting at 7:30. Also, we have a new merch store. Go check it out, Spreaker.com/TSWS. Scroll down, click that Teespring link to go support SWRN. You know you love it.